In my most recent live, I was talking about how some people are just natural sheep. They're natural followers. They're not leaders. They don't want to be. And if you try to wake them up or try to get them out of that position of being a follower, they're just going to get mad and hate you. And then I criticized a bunch of Jewish rabbis for saying that all the non-Jews are just only exist to be their servants and that they have no place in the world other to serve the Jews. And then I was talking about how some people are meant to be leaders and followers. And so I was thinking about it. Some people may think that I'm contradicting myself, and I'm not. And I want to say something about that right now. Real leaders are servants of the people. They're not exploiters of the people. You know, like, let's say that you're not a sheep and these people are sheep. That doesn't mean that you need to exploit them and kill them and abuse them. They need leadership, and it's your responsibility to lead them sometimes. You shouldn't hate them because you're frustrated because you're trying to get them. You're like, stop being a follower, be a leader. Some of them just are not. That's not, like how there are, in a hive of honeybees, different bees have different jobs based on their age and based on their type. There's drones, queens, and then workers transition through different jobs at different stages in their lives. And it's the same way with humans. Some humans are most are followers, and there's some leaders. And a lot of times, people don't like that humans have that herd mentality and that following, and they want to snap them out of it. But there's sort of a caste system with humans, There's a natural hierarchy, a natural way to organize. But it's never been, ever at any time, man's purpose to enslave other people, to tyrannize other people, to oppress and extort other people. If you don't have that herd instinct so much, it's not because you're meant to be a sort of vampire on the human race. You take care of the flock, take care of them, guide them, take care of them. So whereas, a lot of Eastern traditions where kings were almost set up like gods, over the people, and they demanded the people to be so subservient to them. The Western tradition, the Germanic tradition, was to elect leaders by merit to serve the people. And they wouldn't hoard a bunch of gold to brag about their wealth. They'd brag about what they gave away, not what they hoarded. And then we begin to move more toward the Eastern tradition. We begin to teach more the divine right of kings, where kings used to be appointed by election, by merit. And, in the protocols, Westerners are criticized for being naive and thinking that nobility, virtue, or that a good leader should be virtuous. In the protocols, they criticize that. And they say that everything's really by force and tyranny. And, but actually they're wrong on this, really. They really are. This idea that even at the cost of your own life and pain and suffering, that you should do the right thing regardless. This is what has brought Western civilization to its position and to its heights, and has created the wealth and everything. These ideas that humans should be treated with a certain level of dignity. That ideas aren't really ever destroyed, even bad ones. Like, look at how communism fails every time it's tried, but the idea can never be destroyed. The good ideas, bad ideas, the ideas stay forever. The ideologies, they stay forever. They shape people. People go and fight for ideas. They don't go to fight for the people. They don't go to really fight for the king or the leader. They fight for the ideas that are espoused. And these ideas of liberty and justice and human dignity it's a very powerful force. These values, these virtues, these ideas. And it gives people the ability to continue when other people would give up. You know, to have a cause, to have a drive. And the idea that there's an ideal greater than ourselves, greater than what we've reached, that we can aim to and strive for. And, you know, this idea that everybody's supposed to just serve the Jews and be the Jews' slaves is complete nonsense. And the fact that these people chose themselves to be the rulers of everyone else and to believe that everybody's supposed to be subject to them is a great hubris. And it makes them entirely unfit to govern and be in that leadership position in the first place. They're not going to tend the flock. They're going to abuse it and extort it and destroy it. You know, when I farm, you know, I can't eat all the seed. I have to save enough seed for next year. And I save more seed than I started with. And, you know, if I eat a chicken or two, I don't want to reduce the population down, you know. Basically, what's good for the farm is good for me. And it's the same with governments. If the governments get the people richer and safer and more empowered, it'll turn around and empower them. Or you could tax the hell out of people, extort the hell out of people, try to micromanage everybody, and they'll lose the will to life. They'll lose their drive and the whole nation, and you'll be ruling over just a corpse and ashes. You need to take care. If anybody that's under your charge, you need to take care of them. You need to encourage human flourishing. And so, where I say it's natural for some people to be followers and some people to be leaders, I'm not saying that people should be tyrants and slaves. That's not what I'm saying. But some people are naturally dominant and some people are naturally submissive. More people are naturally servile and submissive and go with the flow and don't think and don't question. But to the people who do think, you need to give good commands out of love that build up. Not just self-aggrandizing tyranny. So there's no real contradiction in what I was saying. It's just me and rabbinical Jews have two totally different ideas on what it means to be a leader, what it means to be the head and not the tail. Totally different understandings and ideas about that.